The future of stock buybacks in focus today on word Democrats appear poised to pass their Inflation Reduction Act, which includes a new 1% excise tax on that practice. The question is whether it will, in fact, have a material impact or not, and what that might mean for stocks. So, Stephanie Link, how would you address that? How are you thinking about this issue if, in fact, this happens, which now, frankly, seems pretty likely?
I don't really think it's a big deal. 1% buyback tax is about less than 0.5% to S&P 500 earnings, number one. I just don't think it's big enough for companies to change their strategy, and they're generating so much free cash flow, they do want to return it to shareholders. I think on the margin, maybe they shift incrementally to more dividends versus buybacks, but I don't think this is going to be material.
Okay. So what about you, Sarat? I mean, look, we can get into the issue whether it's material or not, whether it's right or not, that Congress should be sticking its nose in the corporate coffers and deciding what companies can and should do with their free cash flow. You want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is you can have a really big philosophical discussion on CAPM models and what we should be doing. But at the end of the day, if I'm a company and I'm looking at, okay, what do I do with my cash? Right, buy back shares, cap spending, increase dividends. They're going to look and say, what is the best return of capital after taking into effect the 1% tax? So I think the companies will do what's right for them, and it might lead to maybe some more CapEx or maybe some more spending, which will be stimulative for the economy as well. So I think the CEO and the board will do the right thing for what they think the share price is. And if the right thing is the stock is 20% undervalued and nothing else is giving you that return, they'll buy back the shares.
I can understand the controversy here when you say, okay, airlines spent like 90% of free cash flow over a decade on stock buybacks, and then they need to be bailed out by the government during COVID. I can see why there's outrage over that. So I get that. Why should Congress have any say on what companies do with their cash?
Well, because they're taking the exception that you just pointed out and making it the rule, and they're applying it ubiquitously to all of corporate America, which I think is a terrible mistake. I hate this, okay? In a vacuum, if no other decisions are made, that means that's 1% less capital coming back to us as shareholders. I'm a capitalist. I want my capital to give a return, a physical return to me. And I think, the other thing to consider here is double taxation, all right? This is after-tax profits coming back to me, and this is the camel's nose under the tent. It's not going to stop at 1%. You know it. I know it. They know it.
I feel like, and look, I don't know where our viewers come down on this. I feel like this is like a hypocrisy here is rich. The free market is cited, has been cited, at times where we have discussions about why should members of Congress be allowed to trade stocks. Because that's how the free market operates, right? That was cited by the Speaker. But the free market can't work the way the free market should work if it's a company buying back its stock. What am I missing?
It's 100% political. It's 100% political. It is the government taking money that should go to you and me and all of our shareholders and taking it for themselves. And they're covering it in this rubric of what you just pointed out with the airlines. What's missed in that context is that the government shut down the entire economy. I'm not opining on whether that was right or wrong. I'm saying that was happened. That wasn't the airline's fault. The entire, air traffic went down 90%, not 19, not 9, 90%. That was by government mandate.
Once in a 100-year thing. I get it. But I still think that the criticism can be valid of if you spend 90% of your free cash flow over a decade on stock buybacks, and then when it pours outside, for whatever reason the rain started, that you can't have your hand out for a bailout.
I'll agree with you.
If you spend a lot of your free cash flow, the great majority of it on buying back your shares. Maybe buybacks in certain instances are not the greatest use of corporate capital, but maybe it's not the government that should be the one telling you or mandating what a company should do.
Sold.
Trying to sell the debate here.
Totally agree with you. I'm sorry I can't debate you on that. And I think that absent this example of the airlines, if somebody spends 90% of their free cash flow and does bad capital management such that they don't have a rainy day fund when the normal recession occurs, then bad on them. They deserve to go under. Again, not the case with the airlines, but what I'm saying is the free market should apply. Of course, that's what you would expect from me.